What's up guys, welcome back to another video in the Learn Linux series, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to navigate the file system and just the basics of the file system in general. In Linux, the file system is represented by a tree of directories, and when I say directory, simply think of a folder in Windows. It's the exact same concept. The way they're implemented is that each directory and each file inside of Linux is represented by what we call an inode, and it's simply a data structure which looks like this. And you don't have to worry about what everything is, but just understand that each inode contains information about each file and each directory inside of the system. So for example, we have who owns the file, who's the group that owns the file, how big the file is, when it was created, last accessed, last modified, and where the file actually is on the hard drive, for example. And if it is a directory, it'll have a table containing inodes pointing to each of the files inside of it. So don't worry too much about what it is. Just understand each file and each directory is represented by an inode and is assigned an inode number inside of it, which is unique to each file. Now, back to the tree. So we start here at the top of the tree, and think of it as it's like an upside down tree, right? So at the top of the tree, or the bottom, however you want to look at it, is slash, and slash is, we call it the root directory, and that is not to be confused with this down here, which is this root home directory. This is the root directory, and that is the beginning of the tree. And if we want to go to anywhere inside of the tree, we need to start obviously at the top of the root. So if we want to go to home, we type slash, then home, because that is the next level down. And if we want to go down another level, we type a trailing slash. Now that trailing slash has nothing to do with this top slash at the beginning. The slash, when we have a slash at the beginning of the path, that is when we are referring to the root directory. If it is at the end of the path, we're simply saying we're going inside of that next layer, or that next level of the tree. So you can see down here we have slash spool slash. Well, this is not referring to this slash, this is referring to this slash at the end of slash var. So if we wanted to go into slash var slash spool, again, we go slash var slash spool. So inside of the slash directory, there is a directory called var. Instead of the var directory, there is a directory called spool. Now, knowing that information, how would we go from spool to log without going all the way back up, right? All the way from down here, all the way back up to then come all the way back down. Well, that's where relative file paths come in. So we can say, if let's say we are currently in the slash var slash spool directory, we can go up to this directory and come right back down into the log directory instead of going all the way back to the beginning. And the way we do that is using this concept of a special, I guess you could say, directory or file called dot dot. And dot dot simply refers to the previous layer of the tree where you came from. So if you're in slash var slash spool, dot dot refers to slash var. If you're in slash user, right, slash user slash lib, dot dot simply refers to slash user. Now, so let's say we're currently in slash spool, we would say dot dot slash, right, log. And it literally looks like this, if I can find my text tool right here, dot 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 slash log. And again, that's referring, go back one directory or one level on the tree and go down into slash log. And that is a relative file path. Now, additionally, there is another concept which is simply one dot that you will see as well. And that refers to the current directory you're currently in. If you're in slash media and you have a singular dot with nothing else before or after it, that is referring to slash media itself, because that's where you currently are. So again, slash at the beginning of the path is going to refer to this, the root directory. Slash at trailing slash at the end of anything is simply referring to inside of that folder. And dot dot refers to the previous level in the tree, and one dot refers to the current directory that you're currently in. So let's go see that in action so that it makes more sense. So if we open our VM, we will log out so I can show you something else real quick. And you'll see that, again, we'll type the root user, which is what we did last time. We set that up last time. And you'll type your password. And you'll see that when you type your password, right, you will see no letters. That is simply a security measure. Do not worry about it. That is normal. That is natural. That is supposed to happen. So we'll click enter and we'll log in. You'll see a prompt here. This is the message of the day, and it tells us when we last logged in, that we're using a Debian system, etc. And this is configurable, but we won't worry about that right now. And we want to get rid of all this stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is type clear, C-L-E-A-R, and that'll clear our screen of all the text that was printed out before. And you can see now that we're all the way back at the top of the screen with our prompt. And again, this is called our prompt. This text right here. And you can see that it's referring to root, the current user we're logged in as, and at Debian. And Debian is the name of the machine that we gave the computer when we installed the operating system. So this machine has the host name, which is the name of the machine of Debian. Then this squiggly line simply means that we are currently in the home directory. And the home directory is the home directory of the user we're logged in as, which is root. This home directory is something that is designed for the root user by default in, as we said before, /root. I mentioned it briefly. And if you type the command pwd, you will see that that is exactly where we are, in the squiggly line directory, which is called /root. And if you are, let's say, if I say su and go to my other user that I created, and su simply means switch user, and I type kds, you can see that it changed. And if I want to navigate, I'll navigate, say cd, change directory, into squiggly line, right, which we said was our home, and we type pwd again, you'll see that I'm currently in the kds user's home directory, which is /home/kds. So normally the root user's home directory will be /root, and your user's home directory will be /home/the username, or whatever else your administrator decides to set. /home/the username is simply a standard way of doing things, but that is not the only way of doing things. You can reassign the home directory to any directory you would like, but that's a more advanced concept. So I'm going to log out of this user. You can literally type exit, and that'll bring you back to the root user. You can see here the prompt changed to root at Debian again. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through a series of commands to show you how the directory is linked together. So if we type ls and then a path, so /, right, that's a directory, you can see everything that we were seeing in this tree here: bin, boot, dev, etc, home, lib, and all of these directories have a meaning. They're part of the operating system, and you'll learn about them over time. And if I want to, let's say, see what is inside of the home directory, as we already know, it's the KDS folder, but if we type ls/ and then write home, right, so if we go here to the tree, we see ls/home, we literally type ls/home, and we can either put a trailing slash at the end, right, or we can leave it out. So ls is a command which does not care about this, whether there's a trailing slash at the end or not. But in our case, we're just going to leave it without. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a difference. And you can see that inside of the /home directory, we have the KDS folder. Now, alternatively, I could also say cd/home and then type ls, and I can see the exact same information. But if I'm inside of, for example, the root directory, right? If I go back into /root and I type ls/home, I don't have to leave the directory that I'm currently in, and I can still view the contents of /home. So sometimes that's a little bit easier. Something else, let's say if I type cd, change directory again, and I change directory into something really deep, I don't know, it's share, it's random file in here, and I want to get back to my home directory. I can simply type again cd, squiggly line, or if you're up arrow and down arrow, you can kind of navigate through the history, and I'm going to go back into that other weird folder, and if I just simply type cd with nothing else, just blank cd, that'll also by default take me back to my home directory. Another quick little trick that you will learn, and I'll clear my screen. You can also hit Control-L to clear your screen. That's another quick method that you'll see me use a lot. And if, let's say, you type cd space and dash, that'll take you to the last directory that you were currently in. So you can see it took me back to that directory that I just came from. So I can type cd dash again, and I'll hop back and forth between both directories that I was last in. It's like the last button on your TV remote if you've ever used cable TV. But what I want to show you is the relative file paths. So let's say again we want to see what's inside of the last directory before this one. So right, we are in the slash root directory, and I want to say ls dot dot slash. You can see here that it's taking me right back to the slash directory, and I can see what's inside of there. So let's say I want to change directory into dot dot slash lib32. Okay, so now that worked, and I basically went from in here, went back up and right back down into lib32. Now I can also say ls, and there's nothing in here, so we'll go into somewhere where we know there's some kind of file, so we'll say dot dot slash user, and we can also say slash user. It's the same thing, but it's dot dot slash. Sometimes it's easier if you're very deep inside of a directory structure. And let's say I want to navigate into bin. Right? I'm inside of slash user, and inside of slash user we have bin and games included. Let's say I want to navigate into bin, so I say cd bin, and I can put a trailing slash or leave out the trailing slash again with as the same thing as ls, doesn't matter. And you can see I'm going to go straight into slash user slash bin, the next level down. Or I can say go back dot dot slash back into slash user, and you can see right up here there's also the src. So we're going to navigate to the src. Okay, ls, and there's nothing in here. You type pwd, you can see I'm in slash user slash src. Let's go back to our home directory. So it's something that is interesting is there's a few commands here that you can use. So there is the file command. So if I go, let me go into slash, and I can type file bin, right? And you can tell me, you see it says it's a symbolic link to user bin. So you don't have to care about what that means right now, but just understand that it's telling you what it is. So let's say, so let's find a file, for example. So let's say file slash etc slash issue, right? It tells you that it's an ASCII text file. Or if I go to a directory again, like slash etc, you can see that it tells you that it's a directory. Or even if I say slash, it's a directory. Type dot dot, it tells you it's a directory. And yeah, so there's these kinds of little tidbits of information. Something else, you may have noticed that I type rather quickly and get around rather quickly. That is due to the automatic tab completion. So let's say I want to go to cd into slash etc, right? And I want to see what files are in there. I don't know what's inside of there. So, but I don't want to delete my command and then have to retype everything again. I can simply hit tab 2 times, and you can see it automatically prints out, does an ls on that folder, and tells me everything that's inside of there. So let's say I want to go into the SSH, right? Sorry, turning on my caps lock, SSH, and I hit tab twice again. You can see it automatically tries to complete whatever with whatever information I have. So if let's say I start typing, we have gr here twice. So if I type gr, hit tab twice, it gives me the 2 options that start with G and R, and I type, okay, I want to go into the graph directory. So I type in O, hit tab again, and it automatically completes the rest of the sentence or path. And I can keep doing that to navigate around the file system. Another trick is the stat command. So if I clear my screen again, and I say stat, and we say slash, you can see that all that information from the inode over here, with the UID, user ID, group ID, size, last access, all that information is all replicated here. You can see it all that a lot of that information is able to be viewed using the stat command. So again, let's review. So we have the file command, which will tell you the type of thing that's at the path that you're pointing it at. Stat, which will tell you the information of the inode of the thing you're pointing at. ls, which will list the files inside of a directory, or instead of, if you give it a path, or if you simply list it without any path, it'll list whatever are the current contents of the current directory. If you say cd, you can navigate into a different directory. And a quick little trick as well, another one with ls, if you type ls-a, you'll notice at the beginning there's dot and dot dot, which are the things that we were referring to earlier. So if I say again ls dot dot, there's nothing else before that, but if I go back into let's say user share, and I say ls dot dot, you'll see the contents are the same as ls/user because that is the previous directory. It's a hidden directory, which is why we say the -a flag on ls. -a simply stands for all, and it shows all files and all full directories or folders, however you want to call it, inside of a given path. So with all that in mind, I have an assignment for you guys. So I want you guys to become familiar with the hire man page. So what is a man page? A man page is literally just a manual page, and you simply type man and the name of the thing you want to learn about. So man, we can do that. We can learn about the man page, what a man page is, and it'll tell you an interface to the system reference manual. So it's literally a page you can navigate using J and K. J is down, K is up, or the up and down arrows, and you can read through here and see information about what everything is. This will tell you what a man page is, how to use it, how to different flags you can give to different commands. You can hit Q when you're done reading it, as you can see at the bottom of the page on that white bar. And you can see now you're back to your prompt. But for you guys, I want you to read man, H-I-E-R, or hierarchy is what it really stands for. And it'll tell you all about the file system and all of these different directories, what everything means, what are they about. So you can see normally inside of /media you might find a CD-ROM directory in certain distros, so it's an optional directory. So that might be where you can find your CDs when you put them in. That's not always true, but that's like an example of the regular usage for some distros. Or you can see, for example, /etc contains configuration files which are local to the machine. So this is a good way to get familiar with all of these different directories and understand why there's so many and what they do and their importance to the operating system. So again, read through these, get familiar with it, and just learn how get comfortable navigating the file system with all those commands I gave you. You saw the review, right? ls-a, cd backups, cd // just navigate around. You're not going to break anything by looking around. Look around, ls, cd, pwd to see where you're currently at, all that kind of stuff, and just get comfortable navigating the file system. That's your assignment. If you have any questions, please let me know down below, and I hope you have a great day.